The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And it's Hump Day. And it's Purple Bagless Day. So
Ding dong, the bags are gone, bags are gone.
Yeah. Ding dong, the bags are gone. Yeah. Well, guess what? We know there's an election on the horizon. The bags are gone, like the 120 fee was gone, but they make it up somewhere else. And I mean, look, CJ, you gotta really knock this one out of the park, because you got to talk about how many times have I heard you? We both have, but you're the guy who really hammered him virtually every other day on that, justifiably, I may add, about the fact that he had the ability.
That's right.
To do that at any time, and that your argument was buttressed by the Corporation Counsel, who told the council that he had every right to do whatever the hell he wanted.
That's right.
But when does he do it? Not when he first took office. And how many times during his tenure, over the last 2 terms, has he said he wants to get rid of the bags?
Yep.
They're going to look into getting rid of the bags. Now he gets rid of the bags because there's an election on the horizon. Oh, he's going to say, oh, it's because we got the money. Well, you had the money last year because you said, what, you had $8 million?
Yeah.
In a stabilization fund?
But it's 7.4.
So now it's 7.4. We got to account for that 0.6. So that's $600,000. But how many times did you say, correctly again, to echo what you said before, we keep saying these things and we're proven, not that we take any perverse pleasure, but
I do.
We've warned you and we told you that this was within his purview. He could do it if he really wanted to. All he was doing was lying to you, which he is a master at lying. I mean, he contradicted himself on 2 different things just on the purple bags, because he said during an interview it wasn't political. And then he told the Herald News, is this a political move? Yes, it is. But it's still a positive outcome for literally every resident in the city. That's not true. The people that never bought a purple bag, it's no big deal to them.
Right.
But it will actually hurt them more, because now they're going to have to plug that gap, and they will figure out a way to get more money out of us and earmark more money out of us. And the people who do buy the purple bags and the businesses who have the purple bags are taking gas on the bags. You got to eat those bags. I just bought a new, but I mean, that 1 packet of bags. I mean, I'm not going to go to the, it's not going to kill me. But
if anyone's looking for some bags, Chip's got a great deal for you.
But it's the principle. No, I'm going to, next time it rains, I'm coming in. I'm cutting a hole in the middle and 2 holes on the side. I'm going to use it as a rain slicker, a purple poncho. And, but, the thing is, how about the stores, the businesses? Now, he has to pay the company for bags.
Right.
But he doesn't pay the people. So this is a big win for the people? No. Again, it's screwing the people who abide by the law and the taxpayers. What is it? One of our local radio people said that he bought $120 worth of bags.
Right.
For his tenants so they could comply with the law. Now he has to eat that. Now, how many people in the city of Fall River that actually do abide by the law have bags? We're talking about a lot of money cumulatively. And, so first he said it wasn't, then he said it was, then he said the taxes will go up 2.5 next year anyway, because he was asked that during a maybe, probably last night was the bulb lit in his head, and he said, you know something, if I'm not in jail by the next election, maybe that's another promise I can make to get reelected in the regular election in November. So, I mean, look, anything he says can and should be used against him when it's contradicted by his own lips. So we're
But,
done
you
with
know-
the purple bags. Well, you know, I think we're the first city or town in Massachusetts
Yes,
to
we
get
are.
rid of a pay-as-you-throw. And you know what that's going to result in? Everybody's going to save $2 a bag, and we're going to pay $40 a ton to get rid of all our trash now, because the city's going to be dirtier. The city is going to be, you know, we're going to pay more for our trash removal. But again, nobody cares. It's the $2. It's like seeing the tree and not looking at the forest. This is going to cost you more in the long run. I wasn't a big fan of the way purple bags were implemented. They rammed it down our throat. There was no study. But that's what should have been told to the people, that this results, like recycling, and when it's done right, in a savings to the community. But we can't even do recycle right. We have to pay more. We were the only ones who were paying for recycling. We pay more because nobody in this city complies. Half of the people put plastic bags in the recyclables, and we have to pay extra because they're not clean. It's not pristine.
And remember, recycling costs have gone up.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants our recyclables.
Yeah.
Nobody. And it's not just Fall River. It's every city in town. Yeah. Nobody wants it because China got out of the market of recyclables. Yeah. And once China got out of that market and they said, we're not buying anymore, it went right into the toilet.
Yeah, well,
and
that was fundamentally the only major consumer. You're right. And the thing is, so now, and also trash, we're going to pay more for our trash. Will the people use purple bags? Yeah. They'll probably, they'll still use regular bags, but it's going to end up with people it's going to look. You got to realize that it's about cost, and the cost is going to go up. The cost is going up anyway.
Right.
Something that's unavoidable. But how much it goes, you can try to make some kind of control, because, as you said, before, everybody used to get paid for their recyclables except us.
Yep.
Fall River again figured out a way to do something that everybody else did for a profit, and for Fall River it was going to be a loss. And our politicians don't care. And they use it to increase your taxes. Well, it's costing us a lot of money to get rid of our recyclables. Well, how many times on this show have we told them, why don't you tell these clowns at the council, why are we the only community that has to pay? Everybody else is getting paid. But no, it's just keep tucking it to the taxpayer.
But, the interesting thing is, several years ago, the city voted to look into the effects of possibly making a transfer station. I may have mentioned this in his press conference for the recyclables. It doesn't matter whether we do the transfer station or somebody else does. We still have to pay to get rid of them, because nobody's buying them. And if nobody's buying them, how can you sell them? And I don't know if it was 2020 or Dateline or NBC News, they did a story on recyclables that over 80% of the recyclables that put into the recycling system are put into landfills anyhow because nobody's taking them. And putting them into landfills is not cheap. Let's be real. It's not a cheap thing. But it's cheaper than putting it into recycling. So the city should file for a waiver. The state will grant them a waiver to let us out of recycling. And we can just put everything into the landfill. Because guess what? All these companies that are taking in trash, it's not going to landfills, by the way. It's going to sorting companies. They're sorting it all out. So they're taking the responsibility for it. Because now they've got to recycle food. Your garbage has got to be recycled. So
I don't, CJ, come on. God, that was that was just awful what you just said. I mean, it was so logical, I know. And I mean, how dare you speak that convoluted craziness about doing things with an eye to saving money for the taxpayer and doing things effectively and efficiently.
That's why I don't get elected.
I just can't believe you. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. Did you go to the pot shop this morning? I don't know. I don't know. It's just crazy when it's crazy when we talk like that. But let me read a couple of the quotes about this. announced end. This is a loss of revenue, unquote. Of course, how many times have we said that? But nobody cares. City Councilor Sean Kadim, who has been a vocal proponent to maintain pay-as-you-throw, called Carrere, quote, a pathological liar, unquote. And he said that it was, quote, a political gimmick, unquote, maintaining that the mayor is only getting rid of purple bags and that the program still exists by ordinance. And isn't it ironic, CJ, didn't we actually discuss this? You and I had a conversation.
We've had several conversations about that.
And the mayor fundamentally well, his action actually is in conflict with a city ordinance. And as far as I'm concerned, the city council should take him to court. That is not something in the best interest of the community. A mayor knowingly circumvents a law. But then again, as we talked about all the time, he's a politician.
But the thing is this. There's no ordinance which says the mayor must provide the bags.
Yeah.
It just says that the trash must be placed into a bag. But if there are no bags available, they can't enforce it. So the bags are no longer available. Therefore, they can't enforce the ordinance.
Well, but that's a catch-22.
Right, you're in a catch-22.
That's a catch-22. Right. And that's why they should take them to court. Because by doing that, it rendered an ordinance that is the city council's jurisdiction to pass a law. But they're the legislative body. It made that moot. So his action, it's like you and I, if you became mayor, you can violate any law by executive action? You can't. You just can't take an action that is in direct conflict when that was only further. It was buttressed by the fact that the city council has already looked at this and refused to repeal that ordinance. And that's the thing. Politicians and their turf wars, just like on the federal government with the wall, they victimize the people of the city. Right. And so now and that's exactly what, and no, you're right, though. That's exactly what they're going to say because, as we have seen and pointed out on this show, politicians have they have a different set of laws. They have no law. They can do anything they want. They can collect their whole pension and get a full pay if they're elected to a position. They can violate a law and there's no consequences. When you violate a city ordinance, you're subject to fines and punishment. When the mayor takes executive action for his own political gain, they just say, well, it just makes that ordinance moot. Well, maybe a couple of serial killers can get together, get elected somewhere, and make a murder conviction moot. I don't know. This is absurd. I mean, this whole situation is typical Fall River.
But this wasn't.
They could screw up a one-man parade. Our elected officials could screw up a one-man parade.
But here's the thing: this wasn't like it wasn't expected. It was totally expected. How long have we said this is going to happen?
Oh no, we knew that.
And a mayor's political sign went up Columbia.
Oh, before the
press conference, and it said on there, eliminated pay-as-you-throw.
That's right.
Or eliminated purple bags. So it was already up as a poster, so you knew it was a political stunt. But, let's be realistic here. It's a stunt that now opens up the door for the other four candidates, because now they can be asked, if you are elected mayor, and this is a hot-button question. And I think that we should ask everyone that comes on the show this, and I think they're even going to ask that during the debates. If you become mayor, will you reinstate the purple bag program?
Exactly. And I just got a text from one of our legal eagles who watch our show, who's obviously watching it live.
Yep.
Your friend and mine, and he's right, said the mayor violated his oath to enforce the ordinances of the city of Fall River by taking this action. And he is 100% right. 100% right. But then again, We see them all raise their hand and swear to uphold the Constitution of the state of Massachusetts.
As long as it's convenient.
Huh?
As long as it's convenient for them.
As long as it's convenient for them. Because remember, as we've said like 8 billion times on this show, the Constitution of our state, of our Commonwealth, clearly states that they are our agents and substitutes and answerable to us at all time. But he just does whatever he wants. And as part B to this, our Corporation Counsel, as far as I'm concerned, is violating his canon of ethics as an attorney by rendering an opinion that justifies a violation of an ordinance. I think that Joe Macy, although he's been doing this on a regular basis, you know, I truly believe he, you know, and I know we can't file a complaint with the Board of Bar Overseers because they'll say that we don't have, you know, we don't have standing. We don't have standing, and that's their out. But in reality, as an attorney, you do have a canon of ethics. You swear an oath to be an attorney, to uphold the law. And just as the mayor swore to uphold and enforce the city ordinances, Joe Macy swore to abide by the laws. And rendering an opinion to ignore the law is not, it's wrong. It's illegal. As a matter of fact, Martin Luther King once said, if you truly believe that a law is unfair, and you choose to disobey it, by all means, disobey it. But be prepared to suffer the consequences and to show the public that you're willing to go to jail to show the unfairness of that particular law. And he was right, just as Gandhi did.
Right.
Gandhi did the same thing. He violated laws that he felt were unfair.
And he went to jail every time.
And he went to jail and got beat up and every other thing, as did Martin Luther King and the protesters. The reality, there are no consequences, which is why, back to the blame of every single person in the United States for continuing to reelect these bozos. And I will invoke the quote, or the paraphrase of the quote, from the author of Tom Sawyer, and we all know, one of my favorites, and he has a lot of good quotes, politicians, Mark Twain or Samuel Clemens, in case you don't know who wrote, in case you don't know who wrote it. Politicians are like diapers, and they should be changed for the same reason. You know, in other words, they're full of you-know-what,
yep,
and they have to be changed often.
Well, you know, interestingly enough, you know, one of the things that Carrera said...
I'm getting a call from Government Center. I'm not answering it.
One of the interesting things that Mayor Carrera said was he announced that he's a few weeks away from signing a memorandum of understanding with the company to build a transfer station at the Department of Community Maintenance barn on Lewiston Street. Now, the thing is even if we have a transfer station, we're not going to make money with it, unless we're going to take trash from other communities. And then that's going to create a health problem down on Lewiston Street.
Exactly.
There are houses there.
Yeah, almost bordering the...
They are. They're right on the fence.
They're right on a fence, yeah.
And what's going to happen? Rats are going to be all over the place.
It's going to be rat Valhalla.
Yeah.
They all died and went to heaven in a riv.
Exactly. It's a little ridiculous.
But you know, that's the key. The key is that, you know, we see all this stuff, and he's signing these memorandums. I wonder what company gave him some money for his fund, you know. And but look, purple bags, unfortunately, have been an issue. I didn't like the method that they created it, but I understand, you know, that most communities who adopted it ultimately, and I felt that if this was given the attention it needed and followed the correct process, which was taking 6 months or so, or 3 months or 6 months to explain and have public input and have public meetings and explaining exactly what you just did, CJ, about how you can make money with it, how it can help in many ways for a fairly nominal fee and explain how it's worked in other communities and has been a very positive program. Look, nobody likes to pay money. But the reality is that money goes into the budget, and whatever they spent that money on, it's still being spent. They didn't eliminate that $2 million, as Councilor Ponte pointed out, that was not erased from the budget. It's like saying that, well, I had a part-time job that I used to use to help me pay my heating bill, so now I've decided to quit the part-time job
and turn the heat off.
and think that your bill doesn't go down by that amount.
Right, exactly.
You still got the bill, and we've still got the bills. The budget is not going to go down. It's going to expand again. There are going to be pay raises, and there are going to be all kinds of other things in a budget. And as they said, there's another deficit in the budget that has to be.
One of the issues that we had in Fall River was the people didn't want the bags. They fought it tooth and nail. The voters were saying they didn't want them. Not all of them, but a good majority of the voters said we didn't want the bags. They were fighting back.
Yep.
It took them how many years for them to finally get rid of them?
Yep.
They represent the people. That's what we're supposed to say.
Yeah.
But one of the things that nobody looks at here in Fall River is the fact that you look at other cities and towns, because remember, the mayor got rid of the $120 a year fee for each unit. Other cities and towns actually charge a fee to pick up your trash and charge you the purple bags. A lot of these communities do. Seacount does, Somerset does, Swansea does. I mean, all around us they do that. Tiverton charges you $150, I think $100 or $150 a year just to give you the privilege to drive to the dump to dump your trash. Because if you want your trash picked up at your house, you got to hire a private vendor.
There you go.
So we are better off in some ways with regards to the fees, but the $2 million never touched the trash costs. It was just an inclusionary thing because it goes up $2 million a year, it seems. It seems like every year they add $1 million to the bill. Plus, that doesn't include the tipping fees.
No, and we had a big discussion of those, and you're right. But, that's the key. The key is that the irony of it is, as you said, Sam Sutter didn't get the idea of a trash fee because he had some bulb or some genius in his come up with this idea. As you said, the majority of communities in this state and our surrounding states have a fee in addition.
Exactly.
So, but that's the irony. The irony is Fall River, that's one of the few ideas that have actually worked that Fall River's adopted. Normally when they go find other ideas that have been used in other communities, they're ones that those communities have scrapped because they don't work. So,
and we're too stupid to realize it.
And they're way too dumb to realize it, but as you said, look, I firmly believe, and you said there was a vote, and there were a lot of people who were against it, but I really truly feel that a lot of those people who were against purple bags, because I guess theoretically I was against the purple bags, but not because I was against pay-as-you-throw.
But so was Jazel was for them.
Right. Yeah, well, I was not in favor of but I wasn't in favor of pay-as-you-throw because of the way it was implemented. It wasn't explained. The people didn't have time to look at the way we did it, because as you just said, we found a way to do it worse than everybody else.
That's right.
And that's the key. If we would have shown how pay-as-you-throw works in other communities, works on actually the community saving money over the long run, being cleaner, and done it so the people could have a comfort level that we were doing it the right way by using the right methodology, I think the majority, a vast majority, of people who were even against it would have said okay. But nobody, including me, and that's why I was against it. I don't like especially the city, ramrodding stuff, because that's what they do, and we know that with every issue. Everything comes to the council at the 11th hour.
Yep.
Everything's a crisis. If we don't do this, we're going to get fined. We never, ever have time to look and see if there's a better way to do it. or if it is a viable option, it's just, this is the way we're going to do it, and they lie about their figures, and they, just like, hell, debt override with the school. I don't have to tell you, you and I were battling that in every neighborhood, and they swore you could not restart the process, which we knew. We proved
We could, yep.
that we could. They said that we absolutely had to have a debt override, which we proved we didn't need. And now we know we didn't need it.
Right.
So again, they screwed the taxpayer. They figured out the worst way and the most expensive way for the taxpayer is to build a school. And again, it was a rush. We got to build this school. We got to put the shovels in. We got to get this right away. We're going to lose the money. That was absolute BS, and that's the way they do things. But hey,
what's very interesting is the fact that he's saying he's not going to raise taxes, but he has to raise taxes.
Yeah.
The debt exclusion goes into effect next year.
that's right.
So, 118. I'm waiting to see if that's a quarter, a year, what it is. But
Hey, Star denied preliminary injunction. Yay, team. Good. That's just what we need. More unemployable people to be imported into the city.
yeah, and they're not going to stop fighting. So let them spend $1 million
Yep.
or $1 billion or whatever it costs them to get that, to see if they can get that turned around.
And they will, because they're going to make millions upon millions of dollars.
Right.
Because, in case anybody doesn't know this, drug rehab is one of the most expensive things around.
But here's the thing that Star doesn't tell anyone. The beds that are there are not controlled by Star. They keep saying, we're going to get more Fall River beds. No, you're not. The state's getting more beds. The state controls, the Department of Mental Health, DMH, controls those beds.
Yeah.
It goes first come, first serve. So if a guy from Framingham calls and a bed's available in Fall River, that's where it goes. If a guy from Springfield calls and the bed's available in Fall River, that's where he goes. A guy from Fall River calls and the bed's available in Springfield, that's where he goes. That's the way it works. Wherever the bed is available, that's where they go.
But the only difference is when they come from these other communities, they normally stay here because, like the rats with the new with the new transfer, they found Valhalla, junkie Valhalla. The difference is if Fall River sends somebody to Springfield, and by the way, bottom line of that argument is what you said, and you say it clear, they're lying.
Right.
They're lying. They're flat out lying about getting Fall River people because they don't have any control over who they get. That's state regulated.
That's right.
So remember that they're going to make millions and millions and millions of dollars. But as I said, unlike the people from Springfield or something who stay here, the Fall River people that get sent away, they're like homing pigeons. They come right back. So they come back to the Riv. Because this is one of the best places to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
the 5 people who took out their papers, they've all filed them, so they're all on the ballot.
they're all on a ballot, and we will have
Paul Coogan on Monday.
We will have candidate Paul Coogan on Monday, so please do not miss this program. You
And
will
remember,
get to be able to see.
While we're at that, Joe Camaro was invited to come on the show today.
Yes.
And maybe it's grateful that he didn't come on the show, but it's,
And as was Jaisal Correa at another opportunity, and neither of those individuals have gotten back to either CJ or I. So just so you don't say they didn't get their chance.
Right.
They have been
giving everybody
invited
a chance.
more than once.
Right. So, hey, enjoy your day today, and we'll see you on Friday. Hey, stay warm.
That's right.
The polar vortex is coming.
Make sure there's no open doors. Keep your windows shut, and
leave the water dripping. So
keep the water dripping. That's right. You don't need any broken pipes.
That's it. Have a great day.
Cover your eyes.